Fleet Commander Zexthor stood on the bridge of the Eternal Dominion, watching the primitive blue world rotate slowly beneath his armada. 12,000 warships representing 47 species from across the galaxy had converged on this unremarkable system. It was the largest military force ever assembled in galactic history. They call themselves humans, his tactical officer reported, mandibles clicking with amusement. Population 8 billion. Technology level, barely achieved faster than light travel 3 cycles ago. Military capability laughable. Zexthor nodded, his 3 eyes scanning the data. Earth had committed the unforgivable sin of refusing to surrender their system to the Galactic Concordat. They had to be made an example of. The message would echo across 1,000 worlds. Resist and face extinction. Open all frequencies, Zexthor commanded. Let them hear their doom. The transmission crackled across every communication device on Earth. Humans of Terra, you are surrounded. Your world is forfeit. Surrender unconditionally within 1 standard hour, or face total annihilation. We are the Concordat. We are inevitable. On Earth, in a bunker deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, General Sarah Chen smiled coldly. She had been waiting for this moment. They used the phrase total annihilation, she said to her staff. How unfortunate for them. Gentlemen, ladies, they have no idea what that phrase actually means. Activate Protocol Berserker. Across Earth, hidden beneath oceans, buried in mountains, disguised as innocent satellites and scattered throughout the asteroid belt, humanity's true arsenal came online. Not the token defense fleet the aliens had dismissed. Not the obvious weapons platforms they'd already targeted. The other arsenal. The one humans had built after reading their own history books and asking themselves a simple question. What if we applied our talent for creative destruction to an interstellar scale? Commander Zexthor's hour expired. He gave the order with ceremonial gravity. Begin the bombardment. Erase this. Every screen on his bridge went white. What happened next would be studied in military academies for generations. Those academies that survived anyway. The first wave was kinetic. Thousands of telephone pole-sized tungsten rods accelerated to 98% light speed by mass drivers hidden on the dark side of Luna, tore through the Concordat fleet like bullets through wet paper. Ships that had taken decades to build vanished in femtoseconds, their shields meaningless against relativistic physics. The second wave was nuclear, but not the primitive fission weapons the Concordat expected. These were clean fusion devices, their yields measured in gigatons, each one targeted with surgical precision using quantum-entangled guidance systems. The explosions bloomed like deadly flowers across the black canvas of space. The third wave was worse. Humanity had invented something the galaxy had never seen. Weaponized nanomachines with one simple directive: disassemble. Gray swarms erupted from stealth pods, crossing the distance to enemy ships at speeds that seemed impossible, then began taking those ships apart, atom by atom, converting the raw materials into more of themselves. But the fourth wave was what made the aliens truly understand terror. Zexthor watched his fleet die around him, watched 30% casualties become 50, then 70. His tactical officer was screaming about impossible weapons, about barbaric humans who violated every convention of civilized warfare. Then his ship's computer detected something emerging from Earth's atmosphere. Missiles, thousands of them. But these missiles were accelerating through normal space, somehow bypassing the laws of physics. They blinked in and out of reality, following trajectories that bent around countermeasures that anticipated evasive maneuvers. They weaponized experimental FTL technology, his science officer whispered in horror. They're using dimensional shear as a delivery mechanism. That's insane. The power requirements alone should... The Eternal Dominion split in half. Zexthor, dying in the vacuum, watched the remaining ships of his once mighty armada break formation and flee. They scattered in all directions, desperate to escape the nightmare humanity had unleashed. But humanity wasn't done teaching. Every fleeing ship was marked, tracked. Pursuing them were hunter-killer drones with quantum processors running combat algorithms evolved through 1 billion simulated battles. These drones didn't just destroy ships, they followed them through FTL jumps, pursued them across sectors, hunted them with the patience of machines that never tired, never slept, never forgave. Within 6 hours, the largest armada in galactic history had been reduced to debris and desperate distress calls. General Chen stood in her bunker, reading reports from tracking stations. Not a single human ship had been deployed. Not one pilot lost. Earth's orbital defenses had barely been scratched. "Ma'am," her aide said quietly, "we're receiving surrender requests from the concorded homeworlds. All 47 species are. They're begging us to call off the hunter-killers." Chen considered this. Then she opened a galaxy-wide channel, ensuring every civilization with a radio telescope would hear her words. "You came to teach us about annihilation," she said, her voice carrying across light years. "Let me educate you instead. Humans didn't invent war, we perfected it. We fought each other for 10,000 years, developing increasingly creative ways to kill, and we got very, very good at it. Every weapon you just witnessed, we designed them to use against ourselves. You were merely practice." She paused, letting that sink in across 100 worlds. "We will recall our hunter-killers. We will allow your survivors to return home. But understand this, Earth is not your conquest. Earth is not your territory. Earth is the planet where evolution accidentally created the galaxy's apex predator and gave it opposable thumbs and a really bad attitude about bullies." Chen smiled at the camera, and it was not a pleasant expression. "You came here to show us total annihilation. Instead, you learned what it really means. Remember this lesson. Share it widely, and for the love of whatever gods you pray to, leave us alone." The transmission ended. Across the galaxy, the Concordate's member species held emergency sessions. New laws were passed, new borders drawn. An exclusion zone, 100 light-years in diameter, was established around a small yellow star. In the center of that zone, humanity looked up at the stars and continued building. After all, they'd only shown the galaxy their defensive capabilities. Wait until the galaxy saw what humans could do when they went on offense. But that, as they say, is another story.